Hello, everybody, and welcome to a WFAA special presentation. I'm Teresa Woodard. You know us, the reporters and anchors who bring you the news every day. But behind the cameras, our WFAA photographers work incredibly hard to capture the perfect video and sound. And every year, around this time of year, we like to take a look back through their eyes. The eyes of the WFAA photojournalists, the men and women responsible for those powerful images.
This was a moment in time.
The real life, not just the perfection.
One-legged fadeaway.
It's that.
It was unstoppable.
And making good progress on both flanks.
I know, Mom.
The most catastrophic damage I've witnessed.
It really and truly just has to be perfect.
This is what God gave us.
And who are you to tell me what I can and cannot do?
Stout plays the national anthem. His reason why? Simple.
Somebody had to.
When you're here in person, they mean so much more.
I think here at WFAA, we really focus on people in our stories. It is important to share people's voices, and I think that's what makes a lot of our stories stand out.
These are times when it feels impossible to find strength.
The pain will never stop.
In reflection. Because no matter the answers, it can't bring them back.
Some wishes like that we can't wish for.
As a symbol of our appreciation for your loved one's serviceable and honorable service.
Thank you.
Keep putting that one foot in front of the other and keep moving forward.
It's such a blessing.
It's such a special moment.
Wow.
It's an amazing story.
Beautiful.
WFAA definitely stands out. It's always been the place that I wanted to work at for a very, very long time. And ever since I got here, you can definitely tell that it's just a different standard held within ourselves, held by our staff or expectations. And it's proven time and time again in our quality of work, the dedication, how far photographers go above and beyond to either get the interview or get the video.
We at times cover the entire state of Texas and parts of Oklahoma. So sometimes I get in the car and I'll drive 5 hours just to get one interview. So I like that about working in Dallas, working in North Texas, because stories here can take us all across the country.
This is the slow return to normal.
The good old sun is coming out. Ooh, make it look like it's raining.
The visual look and the quality is number one.
Smell paradise. It is.
And that's why I love working here, more than any other place I've ever worked at. They give us the creative freedom and the tools to just make beautiful, compelling stories on a daily basis. And they give us the time to do those beautiful and compelling stories.
You could see the difference when people at home see our shot next to everyone else's, and it looks, dramatically different.
You go back many years and the level of excellence with the photography staff to JFK all the way up forward. I mean, the viewers know those call letters, WFAA photographers, that they're going to get, quality work, and that sets the bar really high for our guys.
I realized that all the people I knew were dead now.
We are there to share something that you missed, that you couldn't see, or maybe it's something that you're getting the word out to help people. Journalists sometimes are often put in the perspective of, in the field of service, so to speak, and we are. But some of those stories don't always happen that way, but when they do, it's important to get that message out and to be able to, articulate that in a visual way to help a viewer understand, what part of their day they missed in order to, maybe they can find a way to help out.
You can do whatever you want. You can do something way better than a mural. For me, that's my thing.
No one really says that to me.
What we try to do is take that great story or that great interview and marry that with an elevated visual presentation. And when you get that high visual presentation with a great story, that's when you get the magic.
I'm a normal human being.
Her art blends right into nature. Her canvases are walking among us.
All the facts, all the information part, but they're also going to get the best photojournalism in the market.
You kind of just go into this different mode when you've been doing this a long time, and it's like, hey, I know what I need to do, we're gonna get this done, we're gonna get it done safely, but you don't freak out like maybe someone, that isn't used to seeing these kind of things would.
It's nonstop, it just keeps going, it just won't go out.
Any way y'all get more direct on this thing?
Hot and dry. I mean, that's one way to describe this summer. It was enough to just kind of drive you a little bit crazy, and then we were also a little bit more, I guess you could say, on edge or aware of, the possibility of fires. The Eastland County fire was just huge. I mean, if you know Ranger Hill and you're driving up Ranger Hill, and when I started seeing the glow on the horizon, I looked at my reporter and I was like, I can see it from here, and we're not even there, and we're still 15 miles out. And that's how big the fire was, and just the whole horizon full of fire.
Continuing the hammer way with retardant, fire buses and helicopter.
We've been pretty busy. This is our second fire of the week, and it's Monday.
After more than 25 years at Possum Kingdom Lake,
today has been surreal.
Keith and V. Hansen know most of the homes threatened Monday.
It's scary, and we pulled up to docks to talk to people just to see how they were doing.
It started at noon, and by 9, the fire had grown to 300 acres.
Break, climb at the equipment box if you want to pull up over.
A plume of smoke visible 30 miles away.
Visibility and smoke, you can go ahead and engage.
The flames still 0% contained.
The ranchers are worried. The lake, everybody's worried.
The 1148 fire is named after this road, FM 1148, and most of what's burned is on the hilly, woody, but unpopulated west side of the road. Still, though, as the fire has moved north, the flames have claimed several homes right along the lakefront.
A lot of smoke.
A lot of smoke.
The Hansens don't just own a home, they own Possum Kingdom real estate.
We're trying to send them pictures and updates. And the unknown is always the worst part of it.
Fire crews say 8 homes have been destroyed, but no one has been hurt. And the lake cut water reload times from 15 minutes to 30 seconds.
It's absolutely fortunate. That's a lot of water really quickly.
A dozen planes and helicopters from as far as California ran as an endless loop.
And making good progress on both flanks.
The grass and trees in North Texas will likely pass record dry levels set in 2011 when Possum Kingdom was nearly leveled by flames, and several planes today had to divert to other fires in the evening. Crews say anyone nearby should prepare to flee.
They should definitely pay attention. So keep aware of what's going on.
In Possum Kingdom, I'm William Joy.
I mean, it was hot. It was dry. We as photographers were out there in the elements, whether hot or cold, and this was one of the hottest summers I've experienced as a photographer. It was crazy. Never say it's a slow news day. Never say, oh man, it's a slow day or it's a kind of a boring day, because the news gods will have their wrath on you.
Parkway 938 East Kennedy Parkway is going to be fire getting close.
When there's breaking news, I cover the basics of it, but you're looking for those human stories that not only can help you tell the story, but can be the focus enough to bring those people, all of them, the help that they might need after an unfortunate thing like that happens.
Firefighters worry in these conditions, more land, more property, and more lives might not be.
Anything, even the smallest spark can set something like this off.
It's immediate, it's happening right now, and a lot of times the viewers know that. There's something that's going on right now. I need to be aware of it.
You'd never think that something like this would go down so quick, but it did.
Yes, sir. What can you do? It's crazy.
We upgraded to working structure fire.
Looks like we have a 3-story, quite a bit of smoke. Looks like fire coming through a roof.
It was quick. It was very quick. It was minutes. It was minutes.
And I run out downstairs, and sure enough, they're telling people to get out there as fast as you can. And sure enough, there's a huge fire up top.
Everything's caving in, and it's happening like this.
The fire was advancing so quickly that it was deemed collapse was imminent. At that point, we had to go from offensive to defensive. All crews were pulled out.
Tried to get out the back door and couldn't get out through it, so I went out through the lobby, and that smoke was so thick. It was incredible.
Within 5 minutes, the whole top of the building was just in flames. You wouldn't believe it. Windy day, it was traveling across the highway here behind us.
And then to watch it just crumble down, the whole roof caved in, it went quick.
Flames were, shooting 10, 15 feet from over top of the building. I'm here with a coworker, and I called her. She wasn't here. I told her, the place is up in fire, so all of her stuff was inside.
Yeah, it was done. It was done.
For so many years, news prioritized being first. And yeah, we love being first when we can, but we want to do the story right, the way it should be done, the way it needs to be done, the way the characters in our story deserve it to be done. And so most importantly, we want it to be done the right way and have the right care and touch applied to it. There's a fast way to do it, and then there's the right way, and I think we do the right way.
Can you play that measure for me?
In Mrs. Laura Bell's second period class.
And take out mechanical monsters.
Her mostly 6th graders at Stafford Middle School have a routine.
All right, there's your speed.
Take a seat, set up the clarinet, and get ready to play.
Down, up, here you go.
When I go in, my first thing is I always want to seek the truth.
Tell him bye, this is his last day, brother.
The Rice story came about because I saw her on Instagram, and I just thought it was so cool that somebody was making art out of little grains of rice and then throwing it in the air, and then it was gone in a matter of 5 seconds. I was like, is this really worth it? Well, it is, because she has so many followers on Instagram and on TikTok, and then I realized that she was based in Dallas.
It's a staple in many kitchens, the perfect side to many entrees. But for Alyssa Teo, rice is the main ingredient on her menu.
I had a conversation with some friends the other day. It was like, are you noodles or a rice person? And I was like, hands down, rice.
What she's making isn't edible, but it is art. Alyssa shares it with millions of people around the world.
I mean, who would have thunk, me and my little iPhone would come this far with the art pieces.
She never expected her videos to go viral.
Quickly, very quickly, within 1-2 weeks. No idea how.
With little cups for rice, a grade school ruler, and a pair of tweezers, her simple tools make a complex piece and can take anywhere from an hour to a day. All to toss up in the air for less than 5 seconds.
I invested in a good Dyson vacuum after this.
And when it all falls down, the rice is never wasted.
I'll collect it back all in a bin, and I'll either re-dye and reuse it for my next art piece, or I'll recollect it and package it up in a cute little package and create these fun sensory bins for little kids in my local area.
It goes back to the community for free. She started making rice art a year ago. From her first few pieces to now, she wants people to know sometimes you must fail to succeed.
I think people like to see the real life, not just the perfection, but what makes it unique and the imperfections.
And in her house,
you can open my pantry. We have plenty.
there's always enough rice to go around. In Flower Mound, I'm Tiffany Liu.
I just thought it was a really great story and kind of a fun feature to find somebody in the community who is able to do something a little bit different, a different type of art than the rest of us.
What ended up transpiring was something I'll never forget. There were SWAT teams moving around on my left, SWAT teams moving around on my right, and they were all just kind of getting in position, so to speak. When I realized the situation was what it was, I ran back up to my vehicle, got my tactical gear on, body armor on, and began to just kind of hunker down in the bushes and just kind of wait it out. I had just returned to my camera after sending a feed in from my laptop. Kind of didn't know really what was going on, knew the FBI was on my left, the FBI was in front of me, and knew FBI snipers were on my right. So I kind of hunkered down in, and then what started transpiring, I mean, the video speaks for itself. Something happened inside that gave them an edge to get out of there and free for their lives. The most interesting thing about this video, and we learned later, was I was the only photographer that got that video. There's no cell phone video of this that we know of. No security footage has ever been released. So, I mean, this is clearly just a once-in-a-lifetime moment where you're standing there and you're like, wow, this is really happening, and I got all this.
Jose Gantt has been a member of our WFAA family for 43 years. The first few years, he shot news stories. Then he moved over to the sports department. He has been responsible for capturing so many of those historic moments you've witnessed in North Texas sports. Jose is retiring in the new year, and we want to take this moment to honor him. Congratulations, Jose. We will miss you so much.
We came to WFAA TV 1 week apart in 1980. I got here November 10th, and Jose was knocking on the door at November 17th. Oh my God, the guy's, it's his personality, you know. Who doesn't like Jose? Who doesn't know about Jose, you know? Jose actually shared with me that he was gonna work his last shift and just kind of let that be it when it was time to walk away. And he's done everything but had a press conference on CNN. I mean, the world knows he's retiring. Mark Cuban, Jerry Jones, you name it, Dak Prescott. He's a good guy. Everybody loves him and just holds him at dear heart.
How's Minnesota, man?
Man, it's cold here, man.
Huh?
Get my stuff when I get out here, it's cold.
How cold is it?
One day it's 15, with the wind chill is 1.
Jose is the kindest, most conversational person in this newsroom. He is so huggable, and he's a wonderful human being, and I'm really happy for him that he's retiring, but it's definitely a loss on our part.
No, you're not.
Jose Gantt is just a beautiful human being. Anytime I have to do a story, like with the Cowboys or the Mavericks or the Rangers, he knows everybody. So you just give him a call, he'll tell you, hey, this is where you pick up your credential, this is where you go to park. You know, this guy, he just looks after everybody. He's never selfish. He wants to help everybody and see everyone succeed.
Man, it's been real. It's been a journey, and professionally, maybe we are closing a chapter, but our friendship and what lies ahead, I'm looking forward to that.
And I go back and I pinch myself. Little bitty guy from Shreveport, Louisiana. Little bit an unknown guy. I'm still unknown because I don't like to be in the fanfare. And you go back and look, I say, God bless me. He had my hand on me. I seen things I never thought I would see coming from Shreveport. That's why I'm blessed.
Come on, guys! Yeah, all right.
Oh, it just melts your heart.
What? Because that's how I turn, I look, and I'm like, well, there's my face.
At that moment, you don't think. It's just your mind goes blank and you're just in there to do what you're gonna do.
The typical news story is a minute and 30 seconds or a minute 45 seconds, and you are so restricted to what you can tell in the story, and you want to give everybody all the facts. And so when we have these WFAA Originals, it's nice because we can really dig in and not worry about a time constraint. We can explain to you every single nuance that you want to know about a story.
Please hold, please hold.
I feel better than I've ever felt.
Having the controls can be liberating.
Absolutely perfect, man. I gotta put something on that wall to make it boom, you know?
You will be in our hearts forever. See you later, alligator. Have a good time.
You can just tell bigger stories, more emotional stories, more impactful stories. If you have the tools and you have the motivation to tell that longer version of a story. And I think it's really an important part of what we do, and it's why I work here, to have the chance to do those kind of stories.
It was just beautiful, yeah, and my heart was just racing and so happy inside, but yet tears of joy, you know, that he made it home.
One more lost son, brother, and uncle found after a very long journey home.
And the hardest thing for a photographer to have to deal with is trying to put together his best shots in a normal minute 30 package. With our originals, we expand those out to where you get more time to build up this character or build up this story, you know, bring the viewers in. You know, it's a big responsibility to keep a viewer tuned in for over 3 minutes in a story, but I think that's the challenge that photographers like, is they like to make sure every shot is worth it, make sure all the edits are perfect.
Temperatures are dropping by the hour. It was 1 year ago. The massive power outages in North Texas.
4 million Texans and counting are without power. The storm just hit like a monster.
And it roared for 1 whole week, the freeze that took out more than just power.
I was scared.
This is a dire situation.
It took people.
So many people are desperate.
He was found right here
In the road?
on the road. I was just like hoping, no. My brother will forever be 33.
Go, run, just go. Run him over. Take a winch it in, take a winch.
You doing a selfie?
Yeah. Here, now do your pucker lips, because I just did that and looked good.
Because it's something they believe in.
You get to experience like what it would be like if you were actually walking rather than just pushing yourself around.
Hey, Tondu, please, stretch it up tall.
As soon as the life in prison, the rest of my life began in that cell up there.
They trust us to get that, and they're like, all right, cool, we're gonna leave you alone for this story and give you this, resources that you need, whether it's moving schedules around, whether it's, being a little short-handed on one day, because we know you're gonna deliver on a compelling story.
I think the time constraints within those pieces are done in a way that allows the form to be able to dictate, basically, is this a 3-minute story, is it 4-minute, is it 5-minute? It all depends on the nature of what that story is and what you're trying to tell. It's a non-traditional way to be able to get out there and be creative, and not be, just stuck into the same Monday, every day sort of hamster wheel, GA news. You get a break. So you get a break to be creative. You get a break to, kind of go out there and, play with the new camera and, play with the lenses and, see what you can come up with and what you can do.
If they down block, you want to hit the outside edge.
She gets it, she understands it. The kids that are playing the sport don't understand what's going on the field the way she does.
I never talk about this stuff.
She's talking and writing in calculus, and a lot of people are just talking fundamentals of math.
If the tackle blocks out versus a hi-hat, you're going to do something very different.
It's the beginning of a journey, the way I see it.
Rain found piece 2.
This is my favorite page.
In between the pages of a notebook.
Look at this. There's another page. There's another page. You're going to see it.
Specific notebook.
specific pens, which was like her dad. He only liked a particular pen. Let's see what we got up here.
Each page,
This one's like defending ace.
top to bottom,
Miranda Part 2.
littered with football notes.
Full of defenses that she studied.
Part 3 is the continuation of Part 2.
Every word.
And I just have like all types of stuff in here.
Handwritten.
Yeah. If you had asked me 3 years ago, like, oh, what's a 4-3 defense? I'd have been like, what?
Because Rain Urich
Now I'm like, 4-3? So basic.
wants to be a football coach.
Go get your job done, you understand?
She will tell you if the house catches on fire.
1, 2, 3, go!
She will grab her notebooks and her cap, probably in that order.
What's the deal with the notebooks?
That's kind of how it all started. I knew when I wanted to coach that I needed something a coach could hold and see and be like, she knows football. I could never just walk into practice and be like, I want to coach. Just let me coach.
Even if you're not the photographer that shot it, it makes you feel good that your coworkers are doing an amazing job, and motivates you yourself to do a great job too, to be a part of this talented, amazing group of photographers. But to have that much time to shoot, to edit, the reporters to write and fine-tune a story, and the collaborative work between both the photographer and the reporter is awesome, because we give them maybe something that this could work this way better. When we have time to actually, take 15, 20 minutes to plan something out, rather than when it's breaking news like, hey, we got to shoot a quick stand up and get out of here because we got to get to the next location to shoot our next piece of video.
In the life they've built for themselves in Forney, Mark and Sherry Elliott have had quite the adventure.
I went to live with my mom.
But not all of it an adventure.
It was a very dysfunctional home.
He remembers so fondly.
Extremely dysfunctional, and I leave it there.
Mark and his sister Shauna had different dads, but their mom would never really tell him.
Even last year,
who?
As my mom was on her deathbed, I asked again, Mom, are you sure? And she said, there is no one else it could be. But obviously my mom was still hiding something.
He can offer a smile a year after his mom's passing because of what happened next.
Your journey at Ancestry.com.
His wife bought him a DNA kit. They sent it in, then decided to take a small vacation.
We were literally between Houston and Galveston. I got a text.
Unusual names were showing up, ones he'd never heard before. But this one, Bewley, his older sister, somehow remembered.
Now, granted, this is the memory of a 4-year-old child. Yeah. She said, but I vaguely remember a man named Arlie Bewley dating Mom.
Text messages and emails zipped back and forth across the country, and within just a few days.
And we're sitting in the hotel room for our anniversary.
8:30 that night.
And my phone rings.
Yeah.
And he said, this is Arlie Bewley. I'm supposed to call you. And what do you want? And I said, hold on.
Who told them, yes, he had been in Hobbs, New Mexico 52 years ago. And yes, he did date a woman named Ginger.
And he goes, well, what does Ginger have to do with this? And I said, well, I'm her son, and I'm not going to pull any punches, but I believe that you are my dad. And at that point, the phone got extremely silent. It's happy, he was, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. He said, I'm an old man, oh boy.
What Arlie Bewley was able to say next was that he lived in Lufkin, 3 hours southeast of Forney. And he agreed to meet.
Knock, knock, Dad. How you doing?
But this is the Arlie Bewley they found, living alone, on disability, in a 1-bedroom shack. Are you glad he found you?
How do I express that? It's probably the most wonderful thing that ever happened to me.
The same square chin, all that gray hair, and a paternity test proved Arlie Bewley was his dad. So do you like this guy, Arlie? Do you like him?
No, I don't. I love him. It's almost unbelievable. It's like a fantasy come true, really.
But now that Mark Elliott had found his dad, he simply couldn't leave him here.
And I had to work to get him out of that situation.
Which is why our next conversation was in the cab of a U-Haul truck.
Sometimes God gives you the ability to do something, and when he gives you the ability, what is your response? And if you put those two words together, you have responsibility.
Responsibility. he wouldn't have to bear alone. You know, how long did it take you to jump in and say, yeah, this is something we're going to help with?
About 30 seconds.
Because Brian Wilburn at Veterans Resource and Outreach Center of Rowlett learned that Arlie was a Korean War veteran. And after a few phone calls, Home Depot donated thousands in construction materials. Veterans motorcycle groups and others donated their labor. And in a few months, a one-room cabin took shape on Mark Elliott's 10 acres back in Forney.
All right, you ready to go in?
Arlie came home.
Here's your house. Welcome home, Dad.
On a Friday afternoon.
When I was totally without a family, I now have one, and it's such a blessing to know that you got some kind of a family. Had it not been for him calling me, I would have never known. I thank the Lord for bringing him into my life, and I'm very proud that he did.
Arlie Bewley also now proud to learn he's a grandfather, and a great-grandfather too, and that a son he never knew and a community of strangers banded together to bring him home.
That's something you want to do every day. He served our country, and he deserves better than what he had.
There's a lot of really good people out there that want to give back to the veteran community. Thank you to them for a job well done.
Even now, my goodness, it is still so humbling.
When I say my prayer at night, my first thank you for God for bringing me my son and his family.
I agree with there, Dad. I agree.
And agrees that the adventure begins again, this time together.
It's awesome.
Now,
it's awesome.
In Forney, I'm Kevin Reese.
You know, that's the reason I love to work at WFAA, is because they value these long-form stories still. I mean, in a world of 15-second TikTok clips and short attention spans, man, these stories are few and far between, and even more so as the days pass. But like, WFAA sticks to that beautiful long-form storytelling that I love to do, and that is the reason that I'm in this job, and you have to respect WFAA for doing that and sticking with that.
This year we won the National Press Photographers Association Large Market Station of the Year. And you know, to us it's a huge deal. To the viewers, you know, you might not know what it is. But the NPPA is an organization that really highlights and focuses on storytellers, photography, videography.
That could be all she wrote.
And it's truly an honor to be even in the top 4, you know, to be even picked in that lineup, and then to actually win Station of the Year. We've won it before, but it just never gets old. It really is incredible to be part of a station that makes that top 4 every single year, that often wins Station of the Year. And so the best part is when you see that your work is in the tape that is submitted, and you know that you made a difference in order to win that title of Station of the Year.
We have an honorable mention.
But as we were standing there and they started naming off some of the people, it was just a realization. I knew it was between us and KUSA. Like, that's how I felt, and it was just all of a sudden in the last bits of moments you start having a little bit of doubt. And when I heard the name, it was ecstatic.
The stars at night are big and bright. WFAA.
Even though WFAA has been so great visually and storytelling-wise, they have never done what we've done in the past 5 years. So we've really, really raised the game, man. We set the bar way higher than it has already been.
If life came with an alarm, it would sound on Tuesday for Kathy Sowles.
It's a lot of water. Too much water.
She spent the day clearing the water from her Villa Creek apartment in Dallas.
It's too much.
Her world has come crashing, and you'd be mad too.
I could have lost my life laying here in this bed a while ago.
Just after 11, her roof caved in. It flooded the bedroom, everything she has.
This is all I got.
And before any of this, she lost power in the winter storm, and again during our interview.
I lose my power. We lost our power. I'm losing power now. It's gone.
Been rough, man. Cold.
No heat in single-digit temperatures.
Nothing to eat.
Many of us have been here, but not like this. In a pandemic, in a blizzard, when the world comes crashing.
Lost everything in my house. No, I'm not okay, because I'm telling you, this is going to really hurt me.
This is not a sob story. Feel bad for her story.
I'm just all messed up in my head right now.
This is what real people are dealing with.
I would have never thought this would have happened to me. I just moved down here. Been down here 3 months. Ooh, stuff still falling.
Sadly, the stuff continues to fall.
This her mother. She just passed obituary. Got wet.
Because losing her mom to cancer 3 weeks ago wasn't enough.
Oh, Lord, I'm telling you, this is really hurting me. My house like this.
Kathy will stay with family for now, but it's a very short-term fix. She's waiting on dozens of phone calls back. And right about now, it's the only ring she can stomach. In Dallas, I'm Jobin Paniker.
When we win that, I always say this is such a group project and such a group award because everybody has to work together in order to make these stories work.
This is what we're talking about. This is likely caused by the weather event that was down here in Ellis County.
A total team effort. You can't just have one or two good guys who do good work. You need a variety from top to bottom. So that's your long form stuff, that's your breaking news, that's your sports, that's everything across the board. So it takes a true team to win that award. Not to brag, but it's kind of unprecedented what we've done here in the past 5 years to win these awards. And you know, it's just really cool to be a part of something like that.
Get it, Camber! Do it for the gram! Now in this decade, the 2020s, quad roller skates are back.
Social media, there's so many influencers who like skate and it looks fun. There's the big like TikTok phenomenon.
You know, there's a sense of respect, you know, that goes with it. But at the same time, I think it's more of a humbling opportunity. For me, at least, I think, you know, it's one of those team awards that you can actually be like, hey, that's a team award. I didn't do that. So-and-so next to me didn't do it. This other person didn't do it. It's a team award. So everybody, you know, had to play a role and play a part.
At a little yellow house in West Tawakoni, you can count on a couple of things. A curious cat that will definitely interrupt your interview.
8 years. Uh-oh. I figured he might do that, yeah.
You'll also find a house full of reminders that a child with a congenital heart defect lives here, with a mom fighting for his life.
To be honest, devastating.
Devastating to find out that her son Braden was born with a hole in his heart, and that after that surgery, a pacemaker would be next.
2 years old, 2.5 to be exact.
So here's the good news. Braden is 12 now. He and his pacemaker and his sense of humor are doing just fine.
A lot of people think it's just old people who always have that pacemaker, you know, like them old geezers.
It's a mix of the different kinds of news that we cover, from breaking news to sports to the longer form stories that we like to do. It's photographers who work as teams, and it's photographers / reporters like myself who work alone. It's a mix of all of those things to show that we've kind of got a wide range of photographers, a wide range of work, that on average, compared to everybody else, is more often than not better than everybody else in the country.
That was excellent.
Good to finally meet you.
That's definitely the highlight.
It's the Super Bowl for photographers, and we've done it 4 times in the last 5 years, and it's an insane feat, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. We're going to win 4 more.
That sense of like, all right, Let's go win it again next year.
We hope you enjoyed this special WFAA presentation. Thank you for watching in 2022, and we look forward to another year of powerful storytelling in 2023. Good night.
But actually, somebody did ask me yesterday when we were going to have our Christmas special. They say they really enjoy seeing this. I thought I'd tell you that. Yeah.
So you're gonna put me like in, like last year, 80% of this, or?
I mean, maybe.
Can you turn off the camera so I can be myself again?